Welcome back to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 459, and it is another review as we continue on with our month looking at the films of Denis Villeneuve. And as always, is Energy going to hear the host show lunch my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda.
Shop, everybody. Welcome
What's
to the
up,
show.
Brad? What
What's up?
is this day number in your what's it called vacation?
This is day number one.
Oh, sick! Really?
Uno.
Uh, nice,
This
nice.
is day number one.
Watch anything today?
I did not.
All right.
I am
Mm,
going to watch Shang-Chi though right after this, so
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
because I
I'm
can stay up
excited.
late because I don't have to go to
Yep.
work tomorrow.
You have to go to work tomorrow. That's right, man. That's
It's
right.
great.
Yeah. But other
Lovely.
than that, how are you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Didn't do much. We took
What?
Darrow to his vet appointment. He's been having regular vet appointments since he got older, and
Yeah.
then that was about it. I took a nap. Felt pretty good.
Yeah.
Put my
You're,
work phone
you're,
on put my work phone on silent. I was like, fuck it.
yeah. That's you look like a much happier person when you're not coming back from work.
I'm I'm pretty refreshed right now. I'm doing all right. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pretty
Let's
good
just
day.
hope this doesn't go by quick, right, Brad?
It will. It always does.
It always does.
It always does.
But yeah, day one of unemployed life again.
How'd
I
that go?
watched
You doing good? Doing
yeah, I
okay?
watched La Dolce Vita from my what's it called, my Fellini set, and organized some stuff I want to do content wise, and then what's it called, watch this movie so we can talk about it today, and helped around the house because what's it called, my mom isn't home right now. What's it called, she's taking care of my brother right now after the accident and stuff. So I have to help out around here. So walking dogs and shit like that. So other than that, like I think the dogs are really appreciative that they get to go like out more often now instead of
Yeah.
like the one time in the morning, one time at night.
In the evening. Yeah.
Yeah, because now I can take them out at one time in the morning, one time in the afternoon, one time at night.
Basically when they come in and annoy you enough to go out.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter because because one of them is in heat right now, and the others are like in competition to show that one of them is the better mate. So they're peeing all over the house. So
Lovely.
what's the point? What's the
Lovely.
point?
Yeah,
Perfect.
I gotta be careful with my one dog because she's very very subtle. Of like when she needs to go out, and then you turn around and she shit on the floor, and you're like, ah. It's like I told you, and
uh
I'm like, you didn't like use enough like movement.
Yep.
You walked
I'm
up to
so
me, walked
used
to
to
the
it.
door, and then walked back to me. That wasn't like it was nothing.
What up, Aiden? What up?
Hey, Aiden.
I'm ready to watch some Full Gear after we're done here. But yeah,
Oh
I
shit,
got
y'all
used
watching
to
Full Gear after this?
probably, yeah.
Ooh.
But I'm used to picking up shit by
I've
now,
already
dude.
I've already seen the Kenny Omega clip, so
Yeah,
I've already seen YouTube clips of that.
yeah.
The Hangman.
But yeah, man, I've been what's it called? What's it called? Holding on today, and you know, need to see what's up, and need to start looking for another job. But in the meantime, tomorrow I'm gonna work more on this video essay that I'm making, and hopefully, y'all please cross your fingers that this fucking essay gets to stay up. Because if it doesn't, then I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do anymore. Because I really want to make video essays. I'm really good at making them. But if they can't stay up, what's the fucking point of doing it? But yes, join us, Brad. Join us.
I might go watch Shang-Chi though, because I still haven't watched that.
Yeah, you need to watch that for
I need to watch
Thursday.
Shang-Chi for Thursday.
Yeah. Of course, y'all. What's it called? That is our way of saying, y'all, we are doing our review of Shang-Chi this Thursday. And of course, we are here to continue on with our month looking at the films of Denis. And today we are discussing 2013's Prisoners, which Brad had never seen before. This is my third time watching this movie, too.
Your third time watching this? Wow.
Mhm. I watched it um, once with Michelle, a second time with my dad and my mom, mostly my dad, and then a third time right now. This movie's really fucking good, Brad.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
movie's really
I'm
fucking
not
good.
disagreeing there. I'm not disagreeing with you at all on that. This movie is really fucking good.
Vinny versus Nolan, a winner gets Zimmer match. More like winner gets the what's it called Inception noise. Um, Show him who's boss, Raul. You think you can get in this house and get away with it? I'll show you how to mark your territory.
Just whip it
Oh
out.
my god! But with that said, though, let's get into this because I really do want to talk about this film because this film is crazy fucking good. So, without further ado, if you have not seen Prisoners, this is your one and only chance to get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you don't care about spoilers or you have already seen this movie, then you can go ahead and stay here. Either way, how it goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's right. I have some stuff to read here.
Not
Prisoners
much.
is a 2013 American thriller film directed by Denis Villeneuve from a screenplay by Aaron Guzikowski. The film has an ensemble cast including Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, Maria Bello, Terrence Howard, Melissa Leo, and Paul Dano. The plot focuses on the abduction of two young girls in Pennsylvania and the subsequent search for the suspected abductor by the police. After police arrest a young suspect and release him, the father of one of the daughters takes matters into his own hands. The film was a financial and critical success, grossing $122 million worldwide on a budget of 46 million. 46 million. It was chosen by the National Board of Review as one of the top 10 films of 2013, and at the 86 Academy Awards, it was nominated for Best Cinematography. So, um, cinematography by Roger A. Deakins, not Roger Deakins this time. He went under Roger A. Deakins this time. I don't know how that works because he's gone under it sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't go under it.
Hmm.
Edited by Joel Cox and Gary D. Roach. Um, and of course, the score is done by Johan Johansson. And yeah, it sits at 2 hours and 33 minutes. It's a
I
long
feel like
one.
we're missing a cast member in all this.
Who?
We're missing the
David Dalsmalchian, right?
the was he the second? He was the second who they thought was the kidnapper.
The one
The
who killed
second dude.
himself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he's
David
not on here.
Dalsmalchian.
Yeah,
Well,
cuz he's very noticeable.
yeah,
I notice him in movies. He's been in quite a few things.
yeah. He works with Denis a lot. He was he was Peter Dervais in Dune.
I
He's
just
in
find it weird they don't list him anywhere on here. Like he
yeah
is a major portion of the movie kind
yeah.
of.
Um, so this was his first time that he got to work with Denis, and after that he worked with him in Blade Runner 2049, and then after that he worked with him, of course, in freaking Dune.
Yeah.
But he works with him a lot,
Also, him and
and
Paul Dano are the two actors best cast to be serial killers.
with the most notable faces I've ever seen, bro. Like,
Yeah, they're
this
very well cast to be serial killers. Like if they weren't actors, they could be serial killers.
like so if Paul Dano or what's it called, David Dastmalchian were to actually kill someone, it'd be so easy to identify them
It was
because
that guy.
yeah, they look so freaking alike, bro.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean they're very like it was good casting to me because you took two very like noticeable like face structure and all
mhm,
like I'm not gonna say weird, but noticeably like this is what I imagine a serial killer to look like.
mhm. Well, um, of course, this was my third time watching, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Brad go first because I want to hear Brad's initial thoughts on Prisoners.
This movie's fantastic. Like there's only one part in this movie where I'm going because it felt like the movie ended at a certain point and then it kept going.
Hmm.
Like it came to a conclusion in some form, and then it was like, nah, we're just gonna keep going because that wasn't the conclusion. So it kind of threw you off there. But other than that, this movie was like damn near perfect. Gyllenhaal and Jackman, Terrence Howard, um, Melissa Leo, Viola Davis. I mean, like the cast is perfect. Let's Paul Dano in it.
Yeah.
I
And the
mean, it's
shit
crazy.
knocked
Like
out of him.
it feels like you're right there with him as Hugh Jackman's character is going through every emotion in the book, and is basically just destroying himself, and he's going beyond what he knows is right, but he wants to find his daughter, and
Hmm.
he's going to that point, and he's putting himself through that point, and you're just seeing this man just totally tear himself down while he's torturing who a person who we all like. It makes you think he did it just by the way stuff he says to Jackman's character, and
Hmm.
you realize like Jake Gyllenhaal's character had it right all along. Like Paul Dano's character, like probably couldn't hurt a fly. Which at the end you're just because I just remember when Viola Davis took the bag off his head, and you just see his face, and it's just like, oh dear Christ. And yeah, this I love following Jake Gyllenhaal as the detective in this. I thought he played it very well. Um, and just the way some of his mannerisms, some of the stuff he said, especially talking to Jackman,
Yeah.
just the way he said that, like that. Denis went and he did some background research because those answers he gave to Jackman and the wife in the house, those are like government answers. Those are like, we're researching, we don't have any answers for you yet, we'll get back to you. That's
Yeah.
basic government answers, and that's really probably how it goes.
Hmm.
um but yeah, I thought this movie was fantastic.
Hey, also, who dropped this? I don't know who the hell you're talking about. Not me.
Mm-mm.
But um, this movie's incredible. I mean, this is my third time watching this fucking movie, man. This movie does not ever get worse. This movie stays being damn great, bro. And like, having watched it multiple times, I don't mind the whole way that the movie kind of does that ending where it's like, oh, it's about to end
And
and
then it
fade
keeps
out.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it feels like, oh, that's a conclusion, and then it keeps going, and it's just a little weird thing when you first watch it.
Hmm.
But like, and there's kind of like just that moment where you're like having to reset yourself, be like, okay, there's more to the
Hmm.
movie, and you're fine.
Yeah.
That was really the only time I had an issue with this movie. I was like, huh, and I was like, oh, okay, okay,
Yeah. Kylie, we highly recommend this movie.
oh yeah,
You
this
need to
this
watch
movie
this
is
movie.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But so I love just how gritty this movie is. And a lot of that is done by the amazing cinematography from Roger Deakins, who, like I said, he's done some of his best work with Denis. What's it called? This was one that was like, it's up there for me. Like, this is some of Roger's best work. But like, of course, Blade Runner 2049 is another one that I'm like, fuck, man. Like, he's just so damn good in that movie. He does. But like here, like, this shit is god tier, bro. This is some great cinematography. Just all those scenes in the rain, Brad,
Uh huh.
and like, ah, man, like, my one of my favorites is like when Jake Gyllenhaal is driving with the kid back driving with the kid to the hospital, and you just get that the blue light flashing on his face with the blood coming down. What's it
Oh yeah,
called? His
yeah, and,
like,
and then it's kind of going in and out of his blurry vision, and
mm-hmm,
then you just see the emergency room. You're like, because you didn't know if he was going to get in a crash or like just fall out from loss of blood. Like it's a very well directed and acted scene where you don't know if he's going to make it.
mm,
He's trying to get this kid who's just been shot up with who knows what, but that's probably killing her, and trying to get her to the hospital. You're like, is he going to make it? Is he just going to get in a
yeah.
car wreck, or just going to see it flip over and that be it?
Because there's multiple times that you think like, oh, it's gonna happen. He's gonna get hit with a car. Like,
Yeah,
somebody's
it
gonna
was
hit him.
because it had the snow and it had like it was more like a sleet, like rain and snow, and
Yeah.
he's just weaving through traffic. I'm sitting there in my seat going, "Why is nobody pulled over? The fucking red lights. Why is nobody pulled over?
Also, it's a cop car. What the hell, y'all? Nobody's
Like,
pulling over.
get out of the way."
After watching Dune, that seems to be his style of filmmaking. Stacy says, "Yeah, honestly, like, it's kind of like, I'm gonna give you the ending sooner, but what's it called? It's not these like where you think, oh, like, this would be a great place to end, and you're like, No, because we still like. I really like the ending to this movie
Well,
because
and
it's like,
that's because they're still because you still had questions in this. Like it
yeah,
ended, and like if it had ended at that part where we thought it was, that'd been fine and good. But there were still like questions up in the air, like
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm reading here, and what's it called? That like a lot of people, what's it called? That had passed, well, had come on, and then they like dropped out of the project. You had actors like Christian Bale and Leonardo DiCaprio on this project at one point. You had directors like Antoine Fuqua and God, thank you, Brian Singer on at a point at one point. But apparently, we have a specific person to thank because this movie probably wouldn't have gotten made if it wasn't for their endorsement. That is none other than Mark Wahlberg.
Seriously, we gotta thank
Yeah,
Wahlberg.
yeah, because if it wasn't for the
Wow,
what's it
Wahlberg,
called, if it wasn't for the what's it called, the endorsement from Wahlberg, it wouldn't have gotten off the ground, bro.
you gotta be shitting me. We gotta thank Wahlburger.
You're welcome. But
Fucking
like I
a.
said,
Stay out of your
the
mother for
music
me.
the music is incredible in this score. It's just so tense because like
Other
there's
than
moments.
other than Terrence Howard playing the trumpet, I agree.
Oh yeah, yeah. By the way,
that
next time,
was
baby.
that was that was horrible.
No, sir, never play the fucking saxophone again, man.
Mm-mm.
Um, but the violence also, once again, like the violence is very like sudden, and we don't really linger on it too much.
No, no, and it
But
cuts away quick. Like you get the him punching Dano in the face.
mhm.
I fucking cringed at the whole keep him in a box and turn on hot and cold water on him.
Oh god,
I
man,
like, oh god, we've gone from like just
and the funky bone.
brutality in a way, just to torture,
Hmm.
just to like keeping him alive.
Yeah,
And
one
that
of
he
my
even
favorite
said,
scenes, man, when they're in that room in the restroom, and he's got him up against the wall. Terrence Howard is holding him up,
"Oh, the
and
hammer,"
the hammer's like, "Where's my dinner?"
and then he leaves the hammer in the wall, and then you
Yeah,
just see Howard just turn and look at it because I don't think that was planned. I
you
don't think it
know,
was planned
I
for him to leave the
read
fucking hammer in there.
I read that that was a mix of improvisation and a little bit of direction from Denis, telling Jackman to like really really sell this one out. Like this one's like a really pivotal moment, and Jackman kind of got the idea. Which, by the way, a lot of people really don't know this side of Hugh Jackman. Like this like gritty like roles like this man. Which he's so freaking good in this movie. Like
Hmm.
there are moments where I'm like, why was this man not handed the damn Oscar for this movie?
Yeah,
Because this
it's
he's
well,
so
I can see
good in this
Gyllenhaal
movie.
too being for
Supporting.
supporting actor. Yeah,
Hmm.
because he fucking acts his ass off. Like when we first like, I'll admit when they first like panned to him, like in the restaurant, I'm like,
Hmm.
are they just telling us who the kidnapper is like right away?
Yeah,
Because he does look like a dude who would kidnap someone. And then
yeah,
he's asking for like fortune cookies, and I'm just like,
yeah. And also, I just love like the Denise type of humor. Like in there is like what's it called? What's it called? You're a monkey, and he like sets
my
out like
boss,
all
my
the
boss
answers.
is a rooster.
Also, rooster, and he's just like,
Just called her
yeah.
boss a cock.
He called him
It's
a
great.
dick. Yeah,
Called him a
but
dick.
also something that really stands out to me like this third time around, like a lot of like the religious aspects of this movie, that like not it's not something I really pay attention to in the first time I watched this. And it become more like interesting in like how, of course, Jake Gyllenhaal's character is called Loki. you
Yeah.
know what's it called? He's called Loki. And
Oh,
you
and
know
then here's my question: How,
excuse me.
like, where was the priest at the end of this? Like, the dude had a dead dude in his basement. Like,
That's one thing I would like to
like
know
where
too.
was the priest? Because like, I figure you could hold that man there for quite a while because he has a dead dude in his basement.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that that was like
I'm guessing, but the dead dude was the husband to the lady at the end.
Yeah, yeah, it was a dead dude.
Yeah.
Um, and I like kind of like how like it wasn't like some simple like, oh, it's just the killer who wants to harm children. It's like, no, it's like this is like some cult shit that's happening.
Yeah, where they just
Yeah,
kind of want to raise them in a way,
yeah, yeah.
because I don't see that any of them like killed. I didn't see any. Well, there were like
Well, they did
there were
explain
shoes
that.
at the bottom.
Yeah, they did explain that there were some that they killed. That they were like, we don't really need them. Like they're not ones that we want to raise. And like they were talking about how like the first one was what's it called? Was Alex. Alex was the first one that they killed. What's it called that they raised.
Hmm.
But other than that, like nothing else. What's it
Yeah.
called? There was other ones that they put, like of course David Dastmalchian's character was one that they what's it called?
That was just such a because you they make you like Denise was good. He makes you think that he just because he like he holds on to the rabbit a little too long,
Mm-hmm,
and like he runs away, and then you go in the house and it's like snakes and mazes, and you think this dude's it. Like this dude's crazy. Like he's
yeah.
mentally unstable. You think he's the one that did this because he's
Mm-hmm,
like got the children's bloody clothes and stuff. He had a pig head in a sink. Like you just
mm-hmm,
think this dude's it, and then like by the time you realize that he was one of those that was like basically kidnapped and tortured in this
mm-hmm.
manner, then he goes and kills himself. And then
Yeah.
you're just like, oh.
One of the most intense scenes in the movie too, where you're just like, oh man, we might get there, we might get there, like there might be some sort of like answer to all this, and then pop, no.
And then it's like, no. And then I like how Gyllenhaal deals with his boss.
Oh
Him
yeah,
and his boss have such a hate relationship. Like you couldn't have held him for a day, for another day, really?
he fucking killed himself, what the fuck. But yeah, I really I really like the way they have the relationship in this movie. um But yeah, man, I can't really say much more, dude. This movie's fucking masterful. I mean, this is one of Denis' best work to me. This is my number three in his filmography. I think that this is a really really good film from him. This is one of his strongest as well. This is like
Mhm.
I think this is like his first American movie he made. If I'm correct, I think this was the first one that he made,
I
and
I
it's like
am I am kind of surprised at the box office though. 122 million for thriller. I don't think thrillers. I mean, like, but this had a lot of big names. I guess I don't know in 2013 some were as big as I would say, but Hugh Jackman, Gyllenhaal, sure.
yeah,
I just think of like this is kind of in like the realm of Seven, Along Came a Spider, kind of those movies. So I'm glad that this did well at the box office. That was good.
yeah, because it's not usual like time that movies like this ever like make a lot of money.
No.
And I think that something that probably have helped this movie was like, of course, Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal being the main actors, but
Hmm.
probably word of mouth. Word of mouth was something that grew from here. But like this movie is really integral to Denis being in the position that he is in right now, because like if this movie wasn't as good, you know, who knows where Denis' career would be right now, because
Yeah,
this
you
was
probably
his
wouldn't have
first.
gotten a lot of
Yeah,
callbacks. I mean, because this was a $46 million movie. That's not a budget to like
play
sneeze
around
at.
with. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So this was a mid. I'll call it a mid budget because that's what it is. Um, what Deadpool was, what, 50 million the first one, but Deadpool was also a superhero movie, and that's a
mm-hmm,
very small budget for a superhero movie. So for a budget of 46 million, I call this like mid for
mm-hmm.
what this is. But still, I think you're right. Had this movie not taken off, I don't think Denis would get a lot of what he has gotten.
And also not establishing that that relationship with Warner Brothers as well, because like they're the ones who distribute this one, and like in a couple of years, he would be, what's it called, they would distribute Blade Runner 2049, and what's it called, Dune, and now
I,
even
I
do
think
part
but I
two.
do think Warner Brothers is not stupid. I think they went into Blade Runner 2049
Oh, I'm
going
sorry, what's it called? Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, never mind, go, keep going.
going you know they knew they weren't going to make their money back on that. I don't think.
I had a
I
feeling
that
that
they
as
were
well.
making Blade Runner. I think they knew that they were going to sell DVDs. They were going to sell all
Yeah,
that afterwards, just kind of like the original Blade Runner.
yeah.
So they went with it because they knew it was going to happen. I don't think they expected it to be a huge box office success because the first one wasn't. But
Well, I
that's
guess
not Denis' fault because that movie's also fucking fantastic.
yeah. But so with that said, my friends, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie, and I unapologetically will. I'm gonna give this a full on 10 out of 10. This movie's fucking fantastic. You guys need to watch this movie. It's so gritty. It's like the story is so riveting and so captivating, and like you never kind of want to look away from the screen because like there's so much happening that you're like, holy hell, I think I might know how this is gonna end, and then like it kind of takes its twists and turns, and you're like, nope. So by the time you get to like that last part, you're like, oh, it was right under our noses the whole fucking time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, what's it called? 46 million for Prisoners is kind of mid-range budget, wasn't it? 120 mil for Before I Leave, all that CGI and getting Wesley Snipes to appear. Oh man, Brad, what are you gonna go ahead and give uh, Prisoners?
I mean, it's not often we agree like perfectly. So, but
Yeah,
I think yeah, I will agree with you on this. 10 out of 10.
yeah,
Great
it's
movie.
fucking good, man. Fucking good. I'm
Fucking
glad that I
damn
was
good.
able to finally show you this movie, man. Because
It's damn good.
I was like, come on,
And
man.
yeah, like I never heard of this movie. Like I have never heard of this movie, which is ridiculous. You would think like in some form this would have been like, hey, you should watch Prisoners. No, never heard of this movie. So anybody watching this, go watch Prisoners. Or listening to this, Prisoners.
Yep. So
Get off your phone, Raul.
sorry, man. What's it called? I'm fucking Luis.
Fucking A. Luis can wait.
He's freaking what's it called? Telling me which movies he's gonna review for the site. God damn it! Shut up. But
I can wait.
with that said,
We
of
got a
course,
review.
it's been a fun time, my friends. And of course, next week we do conclude the what's it called the month with Arrival, and then for our patrons on Thursday we are going to watch to discuss Malestrom. It's one of his earlier works, and I think after this I will have only one more movie to watch from him that I haven't watched. So that would be August 32nd on Earth, which is his debut film. So um, with that said, it's been a lot of fun, y'all. And of course, our first our first Patreon commentary for this month. What's it called? Because we had a new poll. So if you want to watch our Patreon commentary, I think tomorrow, maybe, or maybe it's next week. I still need to get Luis's pick for
I think
his.
it's
So
tomorrow. I think you said it was tomorrow.
I will check right now. But
I think.
uh, it's because the thing is that they're still going to be screening. So I kind of want to make sure that we have everybody who we can get on here. Make sure that they're able to be here. But our commentary pick was the Transformers, the movie
Yeah,
from
1984.
1980s.
Yeah,
Not
Rachel.
Trent.
I know Rachel really wanted to be at that one. But yeah, the 1984 animated with
Yeah,
Orson Welles voicing one of the
yeah,
characters. Ah,
yeah. How you doing?
how you doing?
Yeah. So that's going to be our commentary for Patreon. And then next week, I believe we will be doing our commentary with Luis. But I'm very excited. I want to thank you all so much for being here in chat. So, Kylie, Stacy, and Aiden, thank you so much for supporting us here and being here with us. I want to thank our Patreon supporters because without our Patreon supporters, we would not be able to do any of this. So, going to our Patreon at patreon.com/nerdcore to help us out there. Of course, Friday is the virtual premiere, invite only Before I Leave. So if you want to go ahead and catch that and you still want to find a seat in there, you got to go to patreon.com/nerdcore and donate, what's it called, and pledge to $1. And you're going to be able to go in there. Of course, we want to thank our producers and our writers. Our associate producer, Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being a producer of the Nerdcore for as long as you have been. Our executive producer, Shane. Where can they find him, Brad?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at XSRK_, or go buy something from the Suppy Guide at thriftedil.com. Shane, we miss you. We love you. We
Yep.
appreciate you.
Yep. Picked up the 4K version. Wells is on his deathbed. Robert Stack and Weird Al in the soundtrack. Great stuff. Rachel bought the 4K steelbook as well from Best Buy, I believe. So,
Well,
um,
they had a 1984, the
yeah,
1984.
they
Holy
made it.
shit.
they made it what's it called? They did a 4K on it. They put it on 4K,
Damn,
and it's in a really beautiful steelbook, Brad.
that's
I'm
dope.
not even gonna lie.
That's a,
I,
I'm
yeah,
I'm glad they're upkeeping with some of these like
yeah,
classics.
yeah. So, um, without further ado, we also want to thank our wonderful writers. Our wonderful writer Tony
Hey Tony,
at Real Nerdy Dad on Twitter, and then our wonderful Luis, who is also a writer for the podcast, who will be covering some films from Houston Cinema Arts Festival on thenerco.com. And of course, you can find him at Luigi on IG on Instagram, Luis A. Garcia 001 on Twitter, and Loxer Studios on Instagram and everywhere else. Because
I figured out what Louis should make us watch now.
what, Brad?
He should make us watch Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, the third movie out of 9 movies. Just I don't know why.
Or what's it called? Or the what's it called? What's the third one in the Twilight films? Fucking
Oh, like I,
Eclipse. Eclipse. Yeah, Eclipse.
yeah, you should do that too, or just
Yeah.
just random number movies. Wait, there were
Yeah.
3 Twilight movies.
No, there's five, but
Oh
four.
Jesus!
The fifth one, I mean, the fourth one was broken into two parts. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you, writers. Yeah. So, without further ado, it's been a lot of fun. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one. We are going to be on here again for our review of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings on Thursday.
are we?
And
Are we?
then
Did you figure out for tomorrow? Are we doing
I
commentary?
will see what the people say, because if we have a lot of people still
If it's
watching
next week, that's fine
screenings,
too. I'm
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I know that we just can't do it on Wednesday because Wednesday is D&D. So, with that said, I will see you guys later. But in the meantime, Bradley, send them out.
Right, roll. Thank you, being host as always. Thank you to all those who joined us in chat today. Thank you to all our Patreon, all our listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, I guess to end this movie, I'll just say, you never know who has a deep pit under their car. Yoda out.